On this week's Tuesday Talk, we are answering a question from a viewer about cooking style. Has our cooking style changed from a house to the stationary trailer to moving full time? And it has what we eat changed? Just general cooking and eating in the Airstream versus other steps along the way. Cooking styles changed a bit. I mean, we don't have everything that I had in the house, and so I can't necessarily make bread as easily or bake as easily, though we do have everything we need. So I have an oven, I have a stove, we have a microwave, we have a fridge and freezer. So anything that I cooked in the house, I could cook here in some fashion. Things like roasting a turkey would probably be kind of hard, not that we did that very often. So everything could be done here. That being said, we don't exactly cook the same way now that we did in the house or in the trailer. Part of that's just that we eat differently. Right?
Yeah, we have to, because we can't really store the bulk items like we did before. Yeah. So we're buying a lot more things kind of on the fly, and some of those things have more carbs because you could store them easier. And they're cheaper, I guess.
Yeah, so when he said bulk items, he meant like we used to go to Costco and stock up on fruits and veggies and do a lot of fruits and veggies from Costco. We don't have the storage for that. We have plenty of storage for rice and beans and pasta and all the carb bulk items. And that's where things go bad.
Our refrigerator is a half to a quarter, well, probably half the size of a basic residential fridge. And if you have the dual fridges there's no comparison. So we don't have the storage for it. So we really have to pick and choose what's most important to us and just store those things and cook what we have.
Yeah. Some of the things that changed when we moved from the house to the trailer and to the Airstream really didn't have anything to do with where we are, like the trailer versus the house. A lot of it had to do with where we were in our eating. So when we lived in the house, we were mostly vegan because of my migraine allergy issues. That's what we were currently eating. And since then, we have realized that my allergy issues are more of a histamine problem. Long story short, we no longer really cook with gluten or dairy in the Airstream, at least not much. Sometimes Steve will have some cheese or some ice cream. But that has kind of drastically changed some of what we cook. I used to bake bread and make pizza and all of that, and I haven't really gotten into that since we went gluten-free in the Airstream. Maybe if I had a house, I would be more into it because it's a little easier, but maybe not. I don't really know.
Hard to say.
I know. The other thing that's different in the Airstream, definitely than in a house, is we cook a lot for the weather. In a house, if you have good AC, if it's hot out, you could still cook a hot meal in the oven if you really want to, or like bake ribs or something. In the Airstream, we're not going to do that. We are not going to be running that oven if it's hot outside because it's hard enough to cool the Airstream down, let alone have the oven.
Keep it cool.
Yeah. And the same the other way around. If it's cold out, we are going to be trying to cook with the oven or with the stove because that's actually going to heat the Airstream up. And so a lot of what we cook changed a bit because we now cook for the weather, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. More baking, more soups in the winter, and more colder stuff, or cooking outside on the grill in the summer.
Yeah, or salads or something like that. Yeah. So I think that's the main way our cooking style has changed. The other thing that's really interesting in a small space is that you learn to use a lot less dishes, especially if you're trying to conserve water. And so we have learned how to make things that originally were like 3-pot meals into 1-pot meals. You just cook them in different times and keep things warm. And we'll often eat right out of what we're cooking out of. So if we have like a mixing bowl that we're using for a sauce, I'll then put food in it and Steve will eat out of it because might as well, so we don't have to do another dish.
And I have a saucy bowl, so I'm okay with that. Especially when it's the peanut butter sauce that we make.
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's so good.
So that's another thing that's interesting with the Airstream. The other cool thing is that we are traveling and we are eating out a little bit more now this year than last year. And that means we get to try new things. And when we try new things, then we come back to the Airstream and say, I wonder if I could make that.
That includes our beverages that we try.
Yes,
during
the cocktails
happy
and stuff
We've had
too.
a couple ideas that we've tried.
Yeah. But the peanut butter
these all
sauce
worked out
came
well.
from a restaurant at one point. So a lot of our stuff comes from having it at a really good restaurant, being like, we can make this. Let's figure that out. So that also gives us the opportunity, since we're traveling around, to try lots of new things and then make them at home.
So what I'm hearing here is we need to go out lots and lots more, so we can get a bunch of ideas, and then continue going out.
Yeah, someone likes going out to eat a little bit.
I love restaurants.
So hopefully that answered your question about cooking style. If you have a question for a future Tuesday Talk, please leave it in the comments below. Like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you next time.
That's right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.